Whatever you've been doing, I just hope it's been lovely. Um, Here in New South Wales, which is on the east coast of Australia, if you don't know, we are kind of celebrating. We're kind of coming out of lockdown for people who are vaccinated. So it's going to change things around a little bit for me, business wise. We'll see. I hope you guys are well wherever you are, but if you have also been in lockdown and you're coming out, I hope you're able to make the most of the situation. Anyway, let me quickly go along here and make sure that I am live in the right place and that it's looking good. Just refresh my computer screen. There I am. I see myself. And when I click on it, I can see your comments. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Cindy. And hi, Cherie. Hello. It's been a little while since I saw you, Cherie, I think. Hi. Okay. So, anyone do anything fun on the weekend? Any good stuff? I've actually had I haven't done a lot of work this weekend. It's been a pretty relaxing weekend, which has been nice. I have started going through and doing a bit of a purge of all my retired stock, getting ready to have a BOGO sale for my customers, which I will be announcing tomorrow when that is. I'm hoping if I have enough done that I might be able to do it next weekend. So stay tuned and I'll let you guys know. Hey there, Kay. Hi. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this camera turned around and we'll get started tonight. I've got a couple of ideas in my head of the cards I would like to do, and let's see how they turn out. I'll get you guys to help me make some final decisions. That's always good. Oh, you have to go back to hospital? That's not good, Cherie. Sorry to hear that. Oh, it's always something else, isn't it? Hey there, Megan. Nice to see you. All right, let's get this switched around. Give me a second. All right, we can see our mini catalogue down there. I've been thinking, hey, Judy, that's fine. I've been thinking a little bit. I've been giving a lot of love to this catalogue lately, and I've been ignoring the annual catalogue a little bit, and I'm thinking I'd really like to go back and play with some things that I haven't shown you guys yet out of the annual catalogue. The problem is there's just so many things, isn't there, to show, and you can't have everything and you can't do everything. So sometimes I find I never feel like I'm running out of ideas ever, because there's just so much to play with. But I do feel like I neglect certain things sometimes, and then we get to the end of a catalogue and think, oh, I wish I had used XYZ more, whatever. Okay, but I think a lot of people do that. Hey, Megan. I know you're doing very well. Yes, it is daylight savings now. We've been on daylight savings now for a week, and always at the beginning of daylight savings I feel really weird. Like it feels like it's much earlier than it actually is. So, you know, and we've switched the cats. The cats were on a 7 a.m., 7 p.m. feeding time. They're now moved to an 8 a.m., 8 p.m. feeding time because they can't tell the time. Although I swear Merlot seems to know. He seems to know that it's 8 o'clock is too late. I don't know how he knows that, but anyway, he just does. His stomach is a very good communicator. All right, so going to do a couple of things tonight. I thought I might start with something I haven't played with before, and let me quickly find it. I should have actually looked up to see what page it was on. Here it is. Before we started, it's page 35, and it's this little set here called Candy Canes. This is a background stamp, and I have not given it a lot of love, but it'll be fun to use it tonight. And we'll just do a really simple little card, and I'll show you how I like to use a set like this. So this is a background set, but and that means it covers the whole card front. Okay, so it's the size of a card. So let me grab it so you can see how big it is. Okay, so, and I always love, I've always found it a little bit amusing that all the background stamps we've ever had always say this: one set of one. Set of one. So there's always just one stamp in them. So here you can see they're suggesting you might like to use it with the Stampin'-Up, which is what I'm going to do tonight. If you do want to use, if you don't have a Stampin'-Up, you would need to use it on a very, very big block. And so our biggest block is the only one that fits, and that's block F. Okay, you can see I've got a brand new one here. but block F is the one to use that is going to fit on. You can see how big this thing is. It's brand new, brand spanking new. And I find, see, it's the right size for our stamp, but I find, see how big it is? The size of F, almost exactly the size of F block, okay? But I find if you have a Stamparatus is the better way to go because it's it enables you to get good even pressure over the whole stamp, so you're not worried about misstamping it. The Stamparatus allows you to stamp precisely. If you miss it, doesn't matter. You can get the Stamparatus to redo it and fix up any mistake you've made, which is one of the things I love about the Stamparatus. So it's kind of foolproof. So let's get it out. I'm going to move this out of the way. So, okay, let's see what people think. Oh, you made a baby card today. Nice. Oh, that's exciting, Jody. Little grandbaby on the way. What I was going to say, let's be controversial tonight, and let's tell me if you like daylight saving or you don't like daylight saving. And the reason I ask that is because I have always liked it. Even when it was not fashionable to do so, because when I grew up, we lived on a farm, and my I'm only using one of the plates tonight, so there are two plates, one goes here, one goes here, but I'm only going to use the one because we're only using the one stamp. All right, so it's going to go in here somewhere, and what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to pop that straight on there. You can kind of do it the other way around with a big stamp like this. And because it's a rubber stamp, we don't need the mat. So let's get rid of that. And you can see we've got a grid here, which helps us get things straight and all that kind of thing. You love it? Love, love, love. Oh, some people love it. Good. Okay, so when I was growing up on the farm, it was not a popular thing in the area that I grew up. It was just south of the Queensland border, and the farmers, and my dad included, did not like it because the cows still get up at the same time, right? The cows still have to be milked at the same time as otherwise, and in our case, goats as well. And it was not a popular thing, but I've always loved it. You know, coming home from school and you get all that time to run around before it gets dark. Love, love, love that. So, you think it fades the carpet too much, Cherie? Do you think that, or that's just what they say in Queensland? Is that right? That's funny. All right, so the other thing that I've got here is I have got, not that we really need it tonight, but I've got some of the little grid paper. I love this stuff. Not only is it great for small projects and, you know, when you're traveling instead of the big grid paper, and it's the same as the other grid paper in that you've got inches on one side and centimeters on the other. But it's really handy because it allows me to stamp on here, and if I overstamp, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting it on my base plate. I mean, you can just wipe it off anyway, but it's kind of like scrap paper for your Stamparatus. So it's handy stuff. You can buy that separately to the Stamparatus. It's kind of a cool thing. I've just realized I don't have my AirPods in, so I'm going to put them in and let's see how the sound goes. If there's any problems with the sound, tell me straight away. All right, yes. It can be hard with kids. Kids and pets, I think, are the hard thing. Okay, can you guys still hear me all right? Is that still working? If not, just let me know. All right, so I'm just going to grab a piece of white paper, and because I'm going to cut it down to size, I'm just going to pop this here. Having a bit of paper, okay, there's a couple of ways we can go. Like I can start with a piece of paper that is the correct size, but then there's the issue of worrying about, you know, how am I going to hold that down? But if I would like to use a bigger piece and then cut it down, it makes it easier if I want to like stamp more than once. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ink up in my Versamark because I'm going to be embossing with this, and I'm going to just make sure that I ink up the whole thing. So what I like about using the Stamparatus is that you can just sort of have it sitting there and then use your ink pad to repeatedly go over the whole thing and ink it up. Just making sure that I've got the whole thing. If you don't have Versamark. Versamark is a super handy thing, and if ever you decide you're going to do embossing, it's almost a must-have. You can use craft ink, white craft ink as well, or any other pigment ink that you might have, but I really love my Versamark. All right, so I'm going to bring this over, making sure this is right in the corner, and I'm going to give it good even pressure. Now you might want to even stand up to get really good even pressure, but if you miss it, if you don't, it's not going to matter, because let me move this around. Now I can see it looks like I might have missed a little bit down here, didn't quite get that, but that's okay, because all I have to do is put it back into the corner again, make sure I've inked up all those bits, and do it again, and it will always match up perfectly. So that is one of the advantages of the Stamparatus, because you can restamp without causing any issues. So I'm just particularly pushing in that place there where I think I might have missed some before. All right, you probably can't see much going on there because, oh, did I? Okay, I can still see there's a little bit missed. The reason why is because, and this is probably a bit silly of me actually, I've put this quite close to this seam, so it sometimes doesn't get as much just here, so I'll pay more careful attention to this side this time. That's not very nice, Cherie. I'm sure they're not silly up there. I just know it always made me, you know, when I grew up, I didn't like school very much, and daylight saving meant the summer was coming, and we had a 7-week holiday. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. That's looking good. You may not be able to see this. Oh, hang on, I'm just going to refresh my computer because it's actually looking like it's frozen at my end, but I don't think it is, because no one's commented that it is. So I agree. You've got more time to do stuff, right, Michelle? I'm just going to move this whole Stamparatus thing out of the way. Now, I'm actually going to emboss this before I cut it down. So I've actually got, you can use clear embossing powder, or because we're using white, we could also use white. So it really doesn't matter. In this case, I'm using clear, but it actually, you know what? I haven't got a lot of clear in that container. So I can actually get a jar of new clear, or I could use white. And maybe I'll just use white. But if I was using a color other than white, then I would definitely use white if I wanted a white result. I'm going to pop that to one side, that one to one side, and use the white instead, just because there's more in the tub. And when you're on a white background, it just doesn't really matter. So I'm going to pour this over, and you should be able to start to see the design coming out. Can you sort of start to see it sticking to that there? Oh yeah, that's a good idea too. To push the lid down, yeah. The other thing you can use underneath the lid when you're using your Stamparatus is put an actual DVD case, or one of the stamp cases, which is the same size as the DVD case. Put them underneath. Just going to pour this over here. And so I'm just making sure that I'm covering the whole thing. I've still missed some there in the middle. Because I've got a lamp next to my desk, it makes it quite easy to see. I can sort of put the light onto it. I don't know if you can see, the light catches it and makes it easier to see where my powder is. I'm just going to add a little bit more down here, make sure I've got all these bits. Right, tap that off. There we go, it's looking good. All right, I'm going to pop the lid, put this back on. That's the nice thing too about using a container. You can just tip the whole thing back into the container when you're finished. And I'm just going to tap over the back to make sure I get rid of any excess. Yep, it's looking good. And this is where we're going to bring in our heat tool. So this heat tool, I've talked about it before. I really like the Stampin'Up one. I've had a couple, but this one is a really good, it's a low intensity. I'll just see there's some extra powder there. Not that it's going to matter because I'm going to be cutting this down anyway. So Just going to forgive any excess I've got around the edges. All right, let's get in and cook our powder. And by cook, I mean heat it until it goes hard and shiny. So it takes a little moment for the heat tool to start, but once it starts to cook it, then it's going to look amazing. Now, this probably isn't a very good color that I've chosen for a demonstration like this, because it's going to be really hard for you guys to see what's going on. And it's a big piece, so it's taking a little longer than I would normally like to do. If I was doing a YouTube tutorial, not a live, but a tutorial, this is the bit where I would play you some nice music and speed up the camera. Instead, you've just got me talking over the top of the heat tool. Is there anyone out there that doesn't like daylight saving? And I promise no judgment. If you don't like it, it's okay. You can say so, and I promise I'll still like you. A lot of people up in Queensland and a lot of people in Western Australia obviously did not like it because they voted not to have it. And it really messes up our time zones. So instead of being 2 hours behind, Western Australia in summer is 3 hours behind. And you're thinking, what is the point of doing white embossing on white paper? What is the point of that, right? And I think you all know I'm going to be adding colour over the top, which will really pop against the white candy canes. So it will be worth it, I promise. If this was really an embossing demonstration, I would have done it in gold or silver or copper, because they're really easy to see against the white, or any colour actually. We're nearly there. I can just see, I'm holding it in the light to see if there's any powder that hasn't gone shiny yet, so if I've missed any spots. It looks pretty good though. A little bit down here. Just the edges, I think. A little bit down the bottom. All right, I see that I've got comments that I haven't noticed yet, because you don't like it, Megan. Yep, that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to not like it, and you're living in the right state for someone who doesn't like it, so that's good. Oh, you made a card today, Jody. Sorry, Jenny. That's nice. I did see you had been posting some stuff. Now, I've got a little bit of powder on my sheet, so I'm just going to get rid of that. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to cut this down at this point. Or maybe, you know what? I'm going to wait until I'm done before I cut it down. So this is the bit. Now, can you see the design if I hold it in the light? Let me see. You should be able to see a little bit there. All right. So we're going to use our blending brushes, and I'm going to bring in some color, and we're going to do some non-traditional colors, because I always like that. I think it's a lot of fun to do non-traditional colors. And I've got some brushes that I've used for similar colors before. So I thought I might use some of the in colors. And I think I'm going to start at the end with a purple, which is the Fresh Freesia, which is one of my new favorite in colors, by the way. And I'm going to start down this end, and I'm just going to go to town with my blending brush around and around and around, and straight away you should be able to see the design starting to pop through with the color. We see that okay? And we'll go back and add a bit more. The more color we add, the more dramatic it's going to be. So if you start with a really dark color, you're going to end up with a very dramatic look. So if I was, you know, Night of Navy, or maybe Evening Evergreen or Shaded Spruce or something like that, those really, really dark colors, they're going to give us a very, very an interesting look, I guess you'd say. More dramatic. All right, so this is one end. Hey, Ellen, nice to see you. So what was the question? I think I missed a question there. Let me just see. The first day of daylight saving. You know, they say a lot of people get a headache on the first day of daylight saving, Jenny. It's very common. And apparently heart conditions go up the week that daylight saving begins as well. People don't deal very well with the stress of that. So there you go. Yes, Cookie is around, and Crumpet has just come into the room, and sometimes I have to get up and stop him from getting up to Cookie, as you know. Yep, love to. So the colours I'm picking, these ones here. So this is Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Fresh Freesia, which are the new in colours, right? So I'm picking up some of this Pale Papaya, and I better go back and have a little looking. Red embossing powder. You know what? You can actually change the colour of your embossing by mixing. You stamp in the Versamark and then you stamp in the red, and you'll be able to get quite a nice look. Quite a reddish tone to that. So you'll still have enough of the Versamark on to pick up the to be sticky enough for the embossing powder to stick to. All right, so we're going with these two colors, and then I'm going to bring in, this one's had a little bit of pink on it before. You can see I've used it for pink and purple, but that's okay. I'm just going to pick up some of the polished pink and start lightly. And we might need to sort of blend backwards and forwards with the colours. Looks good, doesn't it? Don't these colours look delicious together? I really think the Pale Papaya and the pink look amazing together. So I'm kind of going over the other two colours a little bit to kind of blend all these together. If you hear some noise behind me, that is Crumpet digging up the carpet, as he likes to do. All right, it's looking good. All right, do I want to add a little bit more purple? I think I do. So basically you just keep going back until you've got the amount of colour saturation that you want. And all of you girls who like the non-traditional colours will like this card. So you can really have a lot of fun. You can do watercolours in the background. You can do blending like I've used with the brushes. If you do not have the blending brushes, rush, don't walk. Go out and get them. Oh my gosh, they're the best. Best things ever, 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 ever. And there's 3 in a pack. So I'm going to cut this down so it's kind of a little bit off there. And I want this to be 10 centimeters across. So I'm going to be cutting off the 2 edges. So once I've got my color on there, it is easier to see where I want to do it. So I want this to be, I might need to make this slightly smaller. I will, because I'm going to be going, that's 13.8. That's the size of the, so actually I'm going to bring this down to 9.5, half a centimeter smaller. That'll be the right size. Okay. So now I have some Fresh Freesia. Let me make sure this is the right size. Yep, that looks good. I don't need the trimmer. I was going to cut my other piece of white down, but I realized I've got a piece of white that will work. And Crumpet just took off. Oh, that one's seen better days. Let me grab another piece. You see that? It got smudged. I'll just grab another one. Just before I started my video tonight, Ben came in to show me, because he decided, he got into his head he wanted to make custard tarts tonight. So he had to go at making Portuguese tarts, and they actually turned out really, really good. And he came in to show me like right on the dot of 7:30, and he was so excited he pulled the door off its hinge. So we were, just before I went live tonight, we were trying to fix the door. It's not fixed. It's still hanging kind of, it's a sliding door, but it's not in its track. So it's it's kind of hanging there. I just laughed. I said, don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. I've got to go live. All right. good. And then we've got our piece. I'm going to pop this on here. So I would call this kind of a fun card, I guess. A fun Christmas card because it doesn't really, whoop, you know what I just did? It's the end of the roll. Let me grab another one. I'm glad you like the colour combo, Cindy. I just realised I've missed a few comments. Yeah, you heard Crumpet leave, did you? Yes. Oh. Yes, yes, that's right, Cherie. Don't do it the other way around. Don't do the red first and then the Versamark, or you'll be getting yourself a new Versamark. Because you don't want red ink in your Versamark, right? So just, you know, have a little think about that before you do it. They say think before you act. That's definitely a case for doing that. All right, so I've just got this on a piece of fresh freesia, and then this whole thing is going to go onto this card front. Normally I use my Tombow, but my Tombow's not here tonight. I used it for another project and didn't return it to my desk. He's back. I think he might be in a mood because he seems to be chasing stuff around the table. So if you hear noises, you'll know why. Silly cat. All right, so now we have to decide what greeting, and I've got a few choices here for embellishments. So I've got some left over from other cards, so let's pull these out. I've got a tag. I could do a tag, and I could also have this going this way if I wanted to. I could have it going sideways. I've got a couple of different tags in different sizes. This one's a little bit smaller, and then I've got a circle if I wanted to have. I could do a circle, which is always nice. I could also do a vellum circle. The only problem with the vellum circle is I feel like it would need something behind it. So I've got two different size circles. Oh, and here's another option. I've got these. I've got a little bit of a mark on this one down the bottom, but that's easy to cut off. I could do a frame and then, you know, something inside the frame maybe. That sort of thing. But then we're going to be hiding a lot of our, if we did that, we're hiding a lot of our background, right? I am glad you like them, Ellen. Thank you. No worries, Ellen. See you soon. Just going through comments to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, that's nice, Margaret. I love it when they're sleeping under your feet. It's very nice. Just close my inks before the cat lands in them. Yeah, I probably should. Although I'm about to use the fresh freesia, so I'm going to use that for my sentiment. So I've got a couple of options for sentiments. We have, and I'm thinking we'll probably go tonight with the Christmas to Remember one, because that's just over here. It's got some good different size sentiments in it. So if I was going for a bigger one, you like the small tag? Well, we could do a small tag too. I mean, that's another option. I could have it going this way, and I could even have a vellum circle on top of a tag and then have something at the top, or we can go sideways. So there's some greetings, like have a jolly holly jolly Christmas would fit on this, and that would go quite nicely. If I'm going to go on here, then I probably would go maybe with the Friends Like You Make This Season Special. So depends on you like the sideways? All right, I'm just going through the comments. Close lids. Yes, I'm keeping the fresh freesia open, Jody. I'm going to keep that one open because I want to use it. You like the small tag sideways? Okay. Oh, hope she's okay, Margaret. Hope that Tegan, is it? Being bossy tonight. You know what? That's okay. All right. Well, seeing as you're being bossy, let's go with it. Oh, I've got two of those. If I mess one up, I've got a second option. Shall we go then with the Holly Jolly Christmas. Or I think the Merry Christmas might be a little bit, or it would only just fit the Merry Christmas. I could do 'Tis the Season, but that looks a bit small for this tag. So let me try the Holly Jolly Christmas, because I think that's going to be the right size. Yep, let's try that. The tags are from the TaylorMade tag set, and I absolutely love them. I've been using them a lot more than I expected. I didn't get them straight away because I thought, I don't know if I'll use them. And now that I have got them, I'm using them all the time. And I'm using them sideways and upside down. And do I have a small holly stamp? A small holly stamp, no. But I tell you, I know what I do have. And I'm going to go get it for you. It's a little bit light, but it's okay. It still works. So that's the Fresh Freesia. I probably need to re-ink that, because after I've used so much of it with my blending brushes, it probably needs a little bit of a re-ink. But anyway, before I attach this, I have also got, let me grab it. We've got some really lovely ribbons at the moment. I've got this Fresh Freesia ribbon, which would look really, really good, I have to say. Wouldn't that look nice? Like that. And the purple ribbon down here would look good, because the purple under is over this end. So that would look nice. And another option would be the sparkly ribbon that we used last time, you might remember. We used it just recently, wasn't in the last, but this one, it's a bit harder to see, but it's got that lovely glitter in it. So we could go with the glittered organdy ribbon, which is white with the sort of iridescent glitter, or we can go with the Fresh Freesia ribbon. So Holly coming off the edge, I agree. I think that would be nice. The only thing is, I don't want to make it green, so I've got to think about what color. Maybe I do it in, because I've got a little holly dye, and maybe I do that in silver or something like that. That might be nice. All right, so anyone want to suggest? Do I go with the Fresh Freesia ribbon, or do I go with the white glittered ribbon? The Fresh Freesia ribbon. Okay, Jane, you've got it. Nice to meet you, and good choice. All right, so I can tie it like a bow, or I could thread it through and then tie a bit of twine around it. I'm actually thinking in this case it might look nice as a bow, so let's see if we can do something with that. And I might need to tweak this a little bit to get it to sit the way I want it to. But that's okay. Oh, it's raining outside. I can hear the rain on the roof from here. There's a little awning right outside my window, and I can hear when it starts to rain there. We've had some storms today, and Crumpet is scared of storms. Very, very, very scared. He's not scared of anything else, but when the thunder starts, he runs from one end of the house to the other and tries to get under things. So, you know, under Emma's bed, under the table. He's just, yeah, he's terrified of storms. Poor little pussycat. All right, so I want this to sit here, and I'd like these to go this way. And you think, well, how am I going to make it do that? You can make it do that with glue dots to a certain extent, and I do tend to use glue dots when my ribbon doesn't do what I want it to do. Okay, so that's pretty simple. What I would do is grab a glue dot and find one, and grab my bone folder, pick up my glue dot with the end of my bone folder, so it's there on the end of my bone folder, and then put this underneath where no one can see it. Actually going to poke it in under there, and then use that to hold the ribbon in exactly the place that I want. Oh, look, there goes an AirPod. Put that back in. I don't even know if they're working. I think they're working, but who knows? Does that mean you don't like thunder, Jenny? You're with Crumpet? Yeah. I actually really like storms, but I don't like that he's scared of them. Merlot's not scared of storms. He just lies there and, you know, couldn't care less, but doesn't even move if there's a storm. Huh. Now here's the interesting thing. Since I did my Friday night video, I have used my ribbon scissors, and now, just like my Friday night video, I don't know where I put them, but that's okay. We'll just use this little paper snips and neaten them up later if we need to. If you hold them tight, they're not bad. You can use them. A little bit. There we go. And that ribbon is kind of sitting where I want it to sit. Right, now I'm going to turn this over and we're going to use some dimensionals on the back. So this is not a tricky card. This is a really simple card, but it does feature embossing. And I think the colours, I mean, you could use any colours you want, but I think it makes it really special. So let's position this in the middle, kind of in the middle. There we go. Oh, we probably need some bling. What do you need? What do you think? I've got some, these are the in color gems. So we've got soft succulent and pale papaya, fresh freesia, and the polished pink, and also evening evergreen, all on there. But I'm thinking maybe I might add some of these polished pink ones. So let's try those. Try one here, because they're very pink. And I only have little ones left. And I might put a third one, I don't know, somewhere else, just up here. There we go. There we go. Finished card. What do you think, guys? Do you like that? Oh, excellent. Thank you for your help. And I agree. I think that this ribbon looks really good. I think that worked well. All right. I mean, there's lots of other things you could do. You know, we've got little shapes from other die sets that would look really, really nice, you know, with this sort of thing. Gold actually would look really good with the colours that I've used. I wouldn't have thought that immediately, but because of the pale papaya, the gold works quite nicely. So that one, I'm going to pop that one aside. And then let's just do one more quick card. Everything needs bling. Absolutely. You won't get any argument from me there. I think everyone knows that bling is kind of my thing. I love it. I'm already you know, lamenting the loss of our bedazzling paper that was in the celebration catalogue. I'm so glad I got it. And it was a pleasure to work with, but sadly now it has finished. Now, speaking of retired things, while I think about it, if you are one of my customers, or if you are in my private Facebook group, now that's the VIP group, not the main Facebook page. I have a VIP group called Linda Dolke's Private Stampin' VIP group, or VIP Stampin' group. I always get that mixed around. Let me quickly tell you, because I want to get it right for you. Oh, there it is. It's Linda Dolke's Private Stampin' VIP group. Okay, now if you put that into your Facebook search, it will come up. It's a private group, but anyone can find it. And as long as you're in Australia and you're either a customer of mine or you'd like to be a customer of mine, then you can be part of that group. And the cool thing about being part of that group is this week I'm organising, I'm hoping to have it done for next weekend if I can get organised in time, but I will have it announced tomorrow for sure. I'm going to do a buy one get one free sale with my retired stock. Okay, so that means there'll be full details on there how that's going to work, but if you would like to be part of that, or you're looking for some retired items, then I would thoroughly recommend that you be part of that. I can't sell to anyone outside of Australia, unfortunately, but as long as you're in Australia, I can. So but you have to be part of the group to be part of the sale. All right, so this year I haven't been able to do my normal buy one get one free sale that I would do as a special event for my customers. I haven't been able to do it because of COVID, so I'm looking at doing it online instead, and we're gonna see how that works. I hope it goes really well. Okay, so any questions, guys? At the moment, anyone got any questions about what we just did? I love that everybody talks about pets as if they're babies. That's lovely. I'm glad you liked the card. Thank you, Cherie. Thanks, everyone. All right, so let's do one more. And some of you may have seen on Friday night that I did a card, or 2 cards actually, with the Painted Christmas suite. And I'm going to use the paper again tonight because I just love this paper. Oh my goodness. How beautiful is it? I love it all. This one with the little ornaments is my favourite, but I love all the paper. Little pine cones. I like this one with these soft succulent and evening evergreen in it. Really beautiful papers. Really, really nice. That one's a ring in. Whoops. And there's another one that doesn't belong. But you can see how nice these are. So really, really, really pretty. Lots of nice greens together, which can be a challenge to get greens. Some greens really don't work well together, but everything in here, of course, does. So just lovely. And I thought I sort of cut up a couple of pieces before we started so that you could have a bit of a look. All right, so I've got a piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to fold that in half to make my card base, and then flatten it down with a bone folder. All right, and then I'm working on this soft succulent piece here. Now I've already cut these pieces to size just to make it quicker. Today I'm not using the red side, I'm using the pine cone side. And then this is another piece that I've cut to fill in, so it's the same length, but it's a different width obviously, and it's going to fill this in. Now I'm actually thinking I like that part better. So little pine needles there and pine cones over on the other side. I think that looks rather nice. Does everyone like that? I think it looks good. And just let you girls talk about your pets, and I'll just make stuff. That's just fine with me. I don't mind at all. And if you have questions, please ask, because that is how you find stuff out. If anyone doesn't know, this is my business. I've been doing it 15 years, and I just love sharing all these things with you guys. If you happen to want to purchase anything, you can do that through my online store, and I'll make sure when this is over that I put the link down below for you so that you can see how you go about doing that. When I started this business all those years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, and no idea what I was getting myself into either. I couldn't have imagined how my life would change. It's pretty amazing. Now this is a bit of the cork paper. Okay, love this stuff. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets, and there's 2 sheets in a pack. I've cut this one out with one of our stitched rectangle dies, and I'm going to be placing it just here over. Actually, I'm deciding, do I want it to go this way or this way? You know what? I think I'll have it go this way. There we go, like that. And I'm having this offset to one side, and then I'm going to have, I haven't decided if this is the, oh, sorry. Stop it, young man. Oh dear. Oh, you know what it is? He's seen there's a moth outside the window, and the window's right in front of my desk. And so he has decided that this is the time to have a go at a moth. Oi! They say you should never work with pets and children and pets, is that right? Or children and animals. And his tail is just going. Ah, dear. That's hilarious. There's a bit of a delay, and I can kind of see. Can everyone see his tail coming in? Because he... Okay, Jenny, you haven't got the cork paper. Next time you put an order in, get the cork paper. It is so good. Yes, we have the zoomies here too, Megan. And Crumpet's got them right now. I know, it's hilarious. When did your Berman sit in your blue stamp pad? Did he have a blue bottom? How funny. All right, so I'm thinking this is the right size, but I might go up to, this is the next one up. You know what? I think that size is better. The only thing is, this is vanilla and this is white. Which one looks better? There's white here and here. And it's going to go, remember, on my crumb cake base. So would the white look okay? Because I do think the size is better than the small one. Yeah, this size is definitely better. All right. So I quite like the look of a circle on top of a square or a rectangle. I think it's a really nice match of product. yeah, and it kind of looks cool. So let's have a little look, and let's go back to our Christmas to remember again, and let's see what will look like. I like either of these two. This one says, may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish, and this one says, friends like you make this season special. Does anyone have a preference? You think the white, Cindy? Okay, gonna do it. He's so funny. Yeah, good thing I did close the ink pads. You're right. Oh, that's so funny. Yes, we have another cat, and he's sitting underneath the table, watching Crumpet dance around like a mad thing. Friends like you? All right, let's do it. Guess what, though? That one's not put together. Actually, I don't think I've... oh, hang on, it might be. No, the other one is not put together. So one of them is put, you pick the one that isn't, but that's okay. I'm going to put it together and you'll see how to do that, because I know every single time I do this, somebody goes, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. All right, so this is how I put my stamps together, and it's a bit of a treat. Excuse, Ben, take Crumpet away, please. Seriously, go. Children and animals. It's a bad combination. All right. So this one here is the one that says, friends like you make this season special, which is this one right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the join at the back. There's always a join. And I'm going to fold like little dog ears, going to fold the back of the sticker back. And then I'm going to pick it up at the bottom here and pick up the whole sticker, the whole lot, right? And then we're going to get ourselves a block. Doesn't matter what block, just a block that works with the size. This is a bit big, but that's okay. And I'm going to stick it down. The whole thing. All right, then I'm going to use those dog-eared bits to peel the back off really easily. That's why we did that. And then I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to make sure that I've got it facing the right way. And I'm going to position it from the back. And because my block is clear, I can see exactly where I'm going and position it straight onto the block. And it works perfectly every single time. I love this way of doing this. Now this is going to fit really nicely on here. And I'm thinking maybe soft succulent. I think that'll be good. Or we could go soft suede. All right, soft suede or soft succulent for this sentiment. What do you think, guys? So, sorry, that was Ben checking to see if the cats have been fed. That's not good, Jenny. I hope he's okay. All right. Soft suede. Okay, we're going the suede. And I think you're right. I think that will be a bit more contrast. It's suede that you can see here in the pine cones. Now, the other night when I just want to make sure. Now, if you're not sure if this is stamped, that doesn't look like it's inking up very well, and it's not. It actually needs a re-ink. So I will quickly grab my re-inker and soft suede. Here we go. Got some re-inker here. For anyone who hasn't ever re-inked, very, very easy to do. You just, this is how I do it. So I make sure that it's coming out, and I start in the corner and I just kind of zigzag all over. Now I can see this is fairly dry because it's eating up that liquid really fast. So yes, it is quite dry. So I'm just going to do it again. And this is always something, if you're not sure how juicy an ink pad is, always stamp it off first onto a piece of paper, and so you can see that and have a look at it before you use it. All right, so let's try this again so you can see how it was the first time. And also, because we've kind of zigzagged, in case I missed any bits, I move my stamp around so I make sure I'm going to get it all. And it does look better. Let me try that. That's much, 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 much better. So let's just straight into the middle of my circle. The other thing is, when you do a stamp like this, don't rock the stamp, okay? And the reason you don't, when you rock a stamp, so just say I ink it up, and I see these people do this all the time, and then they rock it like this, like they think they're going to get a better image. And what it does, it means that you will get a little bit of overstamping because you have any ink around the edges. When you rock it, you're going to transfer the ink around the edges as well as the stamped image as on top of that. So you don't want to do that rocking because that's when you get your overstamping. So don't rock it when you put it on the ink pad, and don't rock it when you put it on the paper. Go straight up, straight down. Sorry, other way around. Straight down, straight up. So it's kind of a big deal. All right, I'm just going to clean that stamp and close that ink pad. The cats have now gone because Ben quite rightly deduced what was wrong with them. They hadn't been fed, so now they're eating the dinner. So that gives me a break, doesn't it? Let's put this back in this way. I tend to keep my my aroundy bits. This is the aroundy bits. I don't know whether that's the technical term. I don't think it is, but you know what I mean. I keep them because it's really easy for me to see if there's a stamp missing. Okay, so if I've got my aroundy bit in and that am I back? Am I back? You're back. You know what happened? I must have said something that got Siri's attention, and Siri kicked in. So Siri said, I heard Siri say, I didn't catch that. Can you say that again? And I'm like, what? Who's talking to me? It was Siri. So sorry about that, guys. Totally not me. Good old iPhone. That's what it was. All right. That's what I'm sort of looking for now. Now I love this stuff. This is a little piece I've got left over. I've already cut this leaf out. This is the rose gold and gold metallic paper, which is in the annual catalogue. And so, I could put, I think it would look really nice, a little strip of this like down the bottom here, which would look amazing. Don't you think? Or I've also got this little, I'm going to go with the, now this is cut from the seasonal labels dies that match this stamp set, this particular bundle. And I'm going to put under here, I'm gone again? Am I? Huh. Sorry, guys. So it said frozen, frozen, frozen. Saw all the frozens, and then Elsa, thank you. And then you're back. You're back. Yeah, you're back. Good. And then Jenny said, no, gone again. Am I gone? Or am I here? I'm here. Okay, everything's okay. All right, I'll stop panicking. Jenny, are you just trying to scare me? I'm just going to get these bits of dimensionals down, take the backs off. Now, the cork paper, like I was saying before, the cork paper is absolutely amazing. It is just the best stuff. It's exactly like paper to work with. It feels like cork and it looks like cork, but you turn it over, it's just paper. It's amazing stuff. Really, really good. So thoroughly recommend that. Now I'm going to pop this on, and I'm going to use dimensionals here as well. let's pop that here. Now this one here actually needs a second dimensional because I lifted up the cork paper. So let's put that on there. And I've already got some adhesive on the back of this, so I'm going to throw that underneath. There we go. I think that looks cute. Now, should I use one of the pine cones that I cut earlier? This was actually left over from the other night. I do rather like it. I think that looks good. All right, I've got one more thing I think I want to add. I'm going to throw this on. You fine now? Who knows? This is my phone mucking up because I should have put it into airplane mode before I started, but I don't know if that would make any difference. I think if I say the HEYSIRI, if I say that, I think it just gets it immediately gets its attention. But if I must have said something that sounded like that, got its attention, and yeah, who knows? All right. So I'm looking here to see. This is on white. Maybe I'll just use this little bit here. I'm actually going to, the stamp set that this is all from is this one, the Christmas season. And I'm thinking I'm just going to, I want to do this little guy because it's got berries. And this is the evening evergreen. This is like a little stem that you put the berries on. And here are the berries. Now, the berries will add a whole new thing because it's going to add red, and I don't know if I want that or not, but let's have, I won't make it too red. Let's try with the Merlot, the Merry Merlot, because this is kind of it's more of a neutral color, and I think maybe the red might have been too, I don't know. But I'm adding these, and you'll see, can you see how it perfectly fits onto those stems? Really cute. Really like that. Now I could cut them out by hand, but why would I do that when I have dies for that, right? So I'm just going to cut this small enough to put it through my trimmer. I'll just cut it in half. And let's get, I didn't think to get these dies out before I started, so I will quickly reach over to my die box and grab them. I think these are not too red. I think they'll work. I just thought that the red might be too much. It's a really nice sentiment set, Shelley. I've got to tell you, I haven't regretted it. I did regret it like you at the beginning. I haven't got the matching dies for those. I've stuck with these dies, the ones that cut out the stamp set, and I think that's enough. So these are the dies that I do have, the seasonal labels ones, but the other ones, I forget what they're called. They match. I'll look it up for you. So I'm going to there it is. Pop these here and see how these will perfectly cut these out. It's just, mind you, by the time I find my dies and put my machine on the table, I probably could have cut them out by now, but hey, this is still fun to do. Let's wind that through. You got all the dies. You know what? I'm a sucker for a good sentiment set. I find that I've ended up with 2 sentiment sets out of this catalogue, and I've been using them both. So far I'm really happy that I've managed to get both of them. So the 2 sets are the I've got them both out here, I think. One is this Christmas to Remember one, which I really, really like. And I like that it's got lots of really useful sentiments, not too wishy-washy, if you know what I mean. And it's just got a good Merry Christmas, a good season's greetings. Then there's this one, Heartfelt Wishes. So these are the 2. I don't think you probably have to have both, but I would thoroughly recommend one or the other. So this one goes really nicely on long, thin labels. And if you have the dies, like you just said you did, if you have the dies out of here, see this long, thin one in the seasonal labels dies. This one fits the long, thin Merry Christmas in here really well. You just sort of cut the ends off it, but it fits that really nicely. In fact, it fits all of those quite nicely. So I have been using this one quite a bit with these dies. So you may find that more useful perhaps. I'm probably not helping, but you may find it more useful than the other set. Sorry. You've got all the dies. Just having a look. Watch during ads. Oh, you're watching the block? Oh, I'm glad you like the card. All right, so. Please don't tell me I've just misplaced oh, there it is, the elements that I just cut out. All right, because I'm just thinking this will go nice here. So there we go. So anyone got anything exciting happening this week? Any cool things? Anyone excited about anything? A lot of Christmas sentiments. Yeah, I know. I know. I've got a lot of sentiment sets too. But I do get a lot of use out of them. So there we go. All right. There we go. I'm rather liking that. Simple. Okay. I think it maybe doesn't need it. The only other thing you could, actually there's two other things you could potentially add. If you wanted to, and especially if you didn't have this element, you've got your beautiful gold ribbon. I mean, how nice is that? That would be lovely, but I don't think it needs it. The other option is I take this off. Let me just pull this out. And I put it, this is just a thought, put it up the top, and then you could maybe put a ribbon down the bottom. So somebody can tell me, the first person to tell me with ribbon or without. What do you think? Is it too much? The only other thing I might do is add some with ribbon, Cherie. Without, says Megan. With, says Francis. With, says Kath. We've got with, without, with. All right. For the photograph, I may add that. The only other thing I might add is maybe some bling. So maybe these are the genial gems. Although I probably, if I was going to add gems, I would probably go with the good old faceted gold gems. Oh, maybe these. These are really nice. So these are the ones I was talking about. I love these. I use them on everything. The gilded gems from the annual catalogue. But there's also these guys. These are the brush metallic ones, and they're kind of cool. So, they are very, see, that's rather nice. I'll add a big one maybe down, I don't know, down here, and maybe another little one up the top somewhere. There we go. How about that? And then we can decide whether we want our ribbon or whether we don't. I see too much. So there's a whole bunch of people saying with, then without, then with, then without. So there you go. Oh, wow, Michelle. I think that, that one, the ink on block technique from 2013, I think that was my very first Stampin' Up video. I think it was more. More is more, yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of us who subscribe to that idea. Anyway, I'm still deciding. You'll have to check out my Instagram and Facebook page to see if I decided to keep the ribbon or if I ditched it. So there we go. But I'm glad you like it. Glad you like the card. And then, of course, we have our other card that we just did before. Totally different. Oh my gosh, they're two completely different cards. I won't be putting, sometimes, like the other night on Friday night, I put up the two projects that we made because they complemented each other so beautifully. These two, I'm not going to put them together because they're just too different. I'll put them up each as a separate post.
So, but you'll have to come back and see whether or not I use the ribbon in the end. As I said before, if anyone is interested, you're in Australia and you're interested in some retired stock and some other specials that I'm looking at doing, you'll need to be part of my private VIP group for that. So I'll put all the details in the description below over the next little while. And I hope everyone has a fantastic week. Those girls who are in my team, I'll see you tomorrow live on our team group. And everybody else, I'll see you next weekend, Friday night on Facebook, Sunday night on YouTube. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.